So we had 4 images in the basic. And we'll just do a quick run through them.
By the way, just in general, it looks like everyone really put an effort into meeting the theme of the competition, working in the triangle, though we had several that didn't include their metadata. The metadata is always useful to their critiques.
Yes. All right. Do you see that? Get in the corner.
Got it.
Got it. All right. All right. So we'll do a quick run through. Maybe.
You're not filling my screen. Not sure if it's my problem or if you can make it bigger with your little dots at the top.
I have full screen, or I have a screen with the participants along the right-hand side.
Yeah, no, it was my fault. Totally my fault. Never mind. It's full now.
Brain fade.
All right. So we had 4 images in the basic, and we'll just do a quick go through them. First one, Lonely Loon. Second, Red Photinia Leaves.
Stephen, you'll have to mind your cursor. It's in the middle.
I was hoping Alan would remind me. February, Sign of Spring. And Summer Flowers. Okay. So Lonely Loon. Is this
I've got
anybody?
Lonely Loon.
Okay.
And the image is a real nice attempt at shooting something close up with artificial light. It took getting it full screen to get a grip on what a nice concept it was. Though there are issues in the execution of this, and that I think we missed the preferred point of focus in the eye, and the light is a little specular and could be softened. The other thing that is distracting to me is the background kind of falls apart in the upper left-hand corner, and that could probably be taken care of easily with a crop, because that part of the frame gives little to the image. Though at first glance, this is a really impactful image. Okay.
Okay. Next, Red Photinia Leaves.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Nice choice of subject here with the red leaves spanning the breadth of the image. I imagine this was shot wide open or fairly open, but there's no EXIF data, so can't particularly be sure. The background's a little grainy. It's got a number of white spots, and there's some edge elements that might want to think about removing just so they don't become too distracting from the main subject. Might also think about maybe adding a little more texture or a little clarity around the leaves to just give them a bit of texture and make them stand out a bit more. Maybe dull some of the highlights in the upper corners. But in terms of the leaves against the fairly neutral background, nice choice.
Okay. February, Sign of Spring.
This one's mine. So I made some comments in the critique section on the website. I like the colors here. I think the colors are very successful. I believe we're looking at a dandelion flower, if I'm not mistaken. I think some of the elements of this image that are successful are the lines that lead to the flower head, the blurry one up front, as well as the stem of the flower, as well as the grass, the brown grass behind it. I appreciate the shallow depth of field. It looks like maybe a fence in the background. So I think it's a well framed. And I think the texture around the flower is very interesting and successful as well. I'm not entirely sure how this fits the brief in that there's nothing here that says I had to push the limits in one a part of the exposure triangle in order to accomplish something with the others. So I'm not real clear on that, but the other, aside from that, I think the other elements were fairly successful in this image. Nice little macro.
Did they include the metadata on that one?
Without looking at it on the website, I don't know what the metadata is. So.
Okay.
That was
Could
how I
you-
saw it.
As a
Only one
basic,
of the three or 4 images included metadata, and I don't remember which one it was.
could you just, or this could wait till the end, but as a basic photographer, class photographer, I usually work in Lightroom and then I export to a folder. And am I automatically including the data, or is it, I may not be including the data. I don't know how to include the data.
The export dialog, if you go down a little ways, has an option on what metadata is to be included, and it defaults to copyright and maker alone, I think. I don't think it defaults to all data. So you want to change
Okay.
all metadata when you do the export.
Thank you. I
Okay,
will
you're welcome.
double check that. Yeah, I'm probably not including the data that you need.
All right. And I don't remember, did anybody have summer flowers?
I have summer flowers,
Go for it.
and this image has the most impact of the set of basic images. The colors just draw you in. You say, oh, wow, let me look at this. And then you get a little closer to it, and you lose interest in it because you start to see the little technical flaws in it. There's something in the upper right-hand side. There's some color there. The background drape has wrinkles in it. Though the light from the side's nice and contributes to the image. And the ends of the stems of the gladiolas are cropped off. Great start. I would hope that the maker makes another pass at this and tries to incorporate some of the simple things that will improve the image. Okay.
Okay. I will go, because there's only 4. We only awarded first and second. So let's go to the judge's choice. Second place, Judy Ogren, Lonely Loon. Hey, Judy. First place, Clay Lieben. February Sign of Spring. Go Clay. Next, we'll go to the People's Choice. And People's Choice. People's Choice Silver, Judy, Summer Flowers. People's Choice Gold, Judy for Lonely Loon. Yay, Judy.
Is Judy with us tonight?
I don't think so. Nope. All right. Going on to intermediate, we had 15 images. We'll go through them first. All right. Y'all seeing the images?
Not yet.
Title's
Title.
fine.
Not yet.
Okay. The Night Watcher. I5. ISO 1,638,400. Let's Dazzle. Apparition. Midnight Station. Up, up, and away. Quotable Cat at F22 ISO 64. Migrations Dance Team 2023. Light it up. Meditation Point. Ice Storm at ISO 6400. Splash. 2.5 million years ago, this happened.
Honestly, cannot hear it from here.
Displaying for the ladies. Final approach. All right. First one, the Night Watcher.
Yeah, that's me.
Go for it.
Can't remember which three I told you I'd talk to, so I've just made a random selection of three once again. Yeah, this is a lovely shot of a great horned owl. It's ISO 3200 and 1/500th, so it's certainly heading towards the corner, but might be a step or two away from it. Photographers capture the detail and the patterns in the plumage really nicely. And the owl's got the kind of a bored look, as if to say, you know, have you got the picture yet? Can I stop posing? I like the colours in the sky. They're being quite bright. The owl looks a little too underexposed to me. And I wonder if using some of the Lightroom masking, you could select that owl and just bring that out a little more to balance the image. Noise seems to have been treated well in the image. A good shot, good submission.
Okay. High five.
This one's mine.
Okay.
Okay. So the maker took the brief to an extreme with the 1.6 million ISO. I'm not real clear on what camera was used, but that's certainly interesting. I'm not really sure that I understand the intent of the image, in that what we see here is a lot of noise. And I'm not sure if the maker was trying to emphasize the noise with respect to like grain, if you will, for a black and white image, or what exactly. You know, the details are lost at this ISO setting. So I don't know that the manipulation of the other elements of the triangle compensated for that ISO value. I think also this one had a high, a very tight aperture. if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. So while we did something technically interesting with that particular ISO value, I'm not sure what the intent was. So I have to go with, I'm not sure I get it in this particular case. So I think I have a few more details in the written critique.
Okay. Let's dazzle.
This is just an explosion of color in your face, and you have to look at it, and then you need to dig deeper into it to see if you can figure out what you're actually looking at. I think it's a classic long exposure zooming the lens, just with all of the straight lines in it. So that's very nice. Good control of the exposure. You don't have anything distracting in the background. You don't ever see what's holding up the light sources. So the light sources are the only thing that's there. Creator clearly addressed the intent of the brief or the theme for the competition. Push out, use the capability of your camera out towards the limits of time or ISO to create an interesting image. Go ahead, Stephen.
All right. Apparition.
Yeah, this is me. This made me smile a lot, this one, and a fun take on the challenge. At 30 seconds, f22 and ISO 50, it's certainly backed into all three corners of the triangle. I like the Poltergeist subject, and the lighting on the furniture is giving it a nice, almost 50s vibe, which I think adds to the whole quality of the image. A fun image. Well done.
Okay. Oh, wait. This. Midnight Station. Okay. Up and away.
I'm up again.
Okay.
This is just at the peak of action. Bird photographers like to be here, and in any sport that things are moving, you'd like to be and capture this image. I think there's good control of the camera. It would have been nice to have had a different sky, but that could have taken away from the subject. The focus is pretty well nailed on the face of the bird, maybe a tad soft. But the thing that's distracting to me is that the shutter speed is either too high or too low to focus on the wings. This is one of the cases where we've had an opportunity to have a slower shutter speed and see motion blur, or the alternative is a faster shutter speed and a tack sharp crystal wingtips. Overall, a nice image.
Okay. Quotable cat at f22 and ISO 64.
This is me again. I scratched my head for quite some time trying to work out where the lines might be drawn here between AI, composites, digital rendering, using models. And I'm not quite sure I've come to a final conclusion on exactly what was happening here. Having said this, it's certainly in the corner, given the settings. I find the image very pleasing visually, the splash of color on the cat and the far subtler tones on the book. Both books, I think, plays very nicely. I think it's nicely lit. And the human figure is very interesting with the typeface on it. Very creative, I thought, whatever on earth it is.
Okay. Migrations dance team. No takers. All right.
Number
Light it up.
3. All right, I'll claim this one to talk about. It just immediately grabbed my attention. It has impact. I'm totally intrigued with how it's created. That's the first thing you start doing is looking from the top to the bottom, bottom to the top. Where's the source for this image that I'm looking at? I think it's clearly the bottom. And I want the maker to tell us how we did this. But there's good control of the lighting. There's a nice, clean black background, no distractions in the background. And it's compliant with the theme in that it's a long exposure and low ISO. There's just not much bad to be said about this.
Okay. Meditation point. Ice storm at ISO 6400.
So this one's mine. So this is an interesting image in a number of ways. But what I'm not clear on is what I'm supposed to be looking at, because what I think I'm supposed to be looking at is the light and the ice moving through the air on the left. If the maker was trying to focus on the movement of the raindrop / sleet or whatever it is that this is, I'm guessing sleet. I think that they were successful in the texture, the movement, bit of chaos over here on the left. I find most of the right-hand half of the image unnecessary. It's not clear to me what the point of the tree is, actually, nor one of the street signs as well, or the stop sign at the bottom. For me, I think that the interesting portion of the image is that the left half and upper 2/3 of that half, frankly, with all the action going on. The lens flares are interesting, and I think they add a little bit of character. I think the maker was successful in creating portraying an environment that makes it clear it's cold, the icicles on the lamp, etc. It gives you a feel for what it was like being there. So I think that was very successful. And I think they did a pretty good job with the brief as well, being a high ISO shot being taken in the dark, but with a slow enough shutter to get a nice rendering of the objects in the image, as well as the movement of the sleet.
Blash.
All right, I know we only talk about typically 3 images, but the ones that I critiqued all just grabbed my attention. This is the other extreme of pushing into the corner in that we're at a high shutter speed. So we're seeing the bird and the water all stopped in motion. But it's clear what the theme is. There are some distracting elements here in that the bottom part of the leaves that are yellowish orange are brighter than the subject. But overall, a nice capture, and I know that bird didn't take directions or he'd be on the other side of the bird bath. Go ahead, Stephen.
All right. 2.5 million years ago, this happened. Okay. Displaying for the ladies.
This one's mine also.
Okay.
So overall, I think the image is very successful, but not necessarily because of the title. I'm not sure I understand the title. It's, we don't see enough context to understand the title. We have to take it on the maker's word that this is what was actually happening in this scene. I'm not sure I believe it. So I'm going to just let that go and move on. As far as the exposure triangle goes, we have a very quick shutter speed. Great, very successful job. Great job of freezing those wings. They're pretty sharp. I mean, the bird was moving fast and there's a little bit of blur in the tail, but it doesn't bother me because I think that for me, the most interesting thing in the bird is that its left wing and that splay that splay of feathers there, as well as the coloration of the feathers. I really appreciate the maker's ability to capture this moment. The other thing is I looked at this image that I want to point out here because I don't know that everybody goes and reads the critiques. So I want to say this is worthwhile. The other thing that spoke to me in this image was this is a very successful, whether it's intentional or not, I don't know, but a very successful capture of the shape of the bird that is mirrored in the shape of the tree at the bottom. The overall structure exists twice in this image, as far as a large portion and a portion going out behind. So I don't know if the maker did that intentionally or not, but whether he did or not, he or she did or not, I think it's a very interesting element here, and for me, I think helps elevate the image a little bit because it's something that. You look at the image for a while and I think it occurs to you, something about it occurs to you. And that I think is a very interesting element here. So I really commend the maker for that. And if it was accidental, keep finding things like that. Well done.
Final approach. Okay. As somebody that shoots astro a lot, this is amazing. What went in to make this photo is a lot. We're talking hours. So just my 2 cents on that one. All right. So let's go through.
Can I interrupt while you're doing that for a second?
Yeah.
I just had a big whoosh of wind come through, so I'm aware that it's a possibility that if I, as the host, lost power, it would shut down my modem. What I'm going to try to do is I have the laptop battery fully charged, but I'll have to get my backup battery. I'll have just a few moments to get the backup battery settled and switch to another backup battery. Anyway, within, as quick as possible, I'll try to get my system back up with the internet so that we could continue the meeting. But that's in the case of, something happened to my power outage.
Okay. I think it's
Just
already
blasted
passed
through
me.
here too.
Yeah, the front's here. We'll probably get heavy rain and lightning and other things in an hour.
I'm in
All
Liberty
right.
Road, I just got here, just left.
Yeah, it just stopped
Through
here.
Southwest Austin, it's on its way to you.
Yeah.
All right. These are the judges' choices, first, second, third, and we got an honorable mention. We'll start with the honorable mention. And why does it not show who it is? Oh, honorable mention, Robert White, Splash. Congrats, Rob. Third place, Donna Smith, the Night Watcher. Yay, Donna. Second, William Ling, quotable cat. You want to add something to it?
I just wanted to note that I did have a corner in the picture. In the corner, there's a corner.
Oh,
Just a joke.
What was this, William? Was this models or AI or just compositing or what?
There's actually items hanging around the house. I was trying to find something to shoot at f/22 that had a little bit of depth to it. So I went to my wife's office, and she has this little book about this big. That's the quotable cats, and she had the figure on the side of her like a trophy case. It's about the size of a Coke bottle, and then she had this cat in the bathroom. So I snatched them up, arranged them, and thought, well, okay, I'm trying to stay in the theme and get the f/22, so it gets everything in focus. And so that's kind of the story. It's all real. It's not AI.
Yeah.
isn't it one of the first times you've done a studio lighting entry?
No, I've actually done a couple, 3 of them. I had one like the first year I was a member of some flowers and droplets of water. I think that was a studio thing. But anyhow, I've got
Really nice.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the honor of a second.
Okay, and first, light it up, Donna Smith.
I agree. That's awesome.
Donna getting out of her comfort zone.
Yeah, I wish I had a story like Jean, but I don't.
That's pretty,
Well,
yeah.
I saw something
That's
off of Instagram, and basically it's just an iPad with the light bulb sitting on top, shooting in a dark room, like you said, with a black background in the back. And that's it.
Cool.
Very
All
cool.
right. So now we'll go to the people's choice. Let's see what the people have to say. Do they go with the judges or do they go out on their own? We will see. So for people's choice bronze, Travis Hanna. 2.5. Like I said before, nice. Silver, quotable cat, William Ling. There you go. People are kind of lining up with the judges. And gold goes to Donna. Yay, Donna. Took a sweep. All right. So moving on to advanced. All right, we'll show the images first. All right, we had 15 entries. First one, Cato Lake. Slow down there, bud. Cato Lake fishermen. Bunch of y'all went out to Cato Lake. Next, Catch Me If You Can. Aurora. Evening Snack. Icelandic Winter, the Blue Hour. Daniel on the drums. F-35 Lightning. in a heartbeat. Starburst through sculpture. Mint. Rio Grande Milky Way. Into the Sun, F-22. A Vestige of Autumn. Caught in the Light. And Mardi Gras Dreamscape. And we'll go. Now we'll show them with the our PSA judge. Oh, where is it? Okay. Now that's not showing the critiques.
Dave, help him.
Of my pay grade.
Yeah. That's not it. Judge's choice. Where'd it? No, that's not it. Where did it go with the critiques? Is this it? Nope, that's not it. The software did some update on me. Display critique over. Why is it not showing the critiques?
Can you see them?
No, I don't. Not showing the critiques. Display captions, display. Display. Display, display.
Stephen, instead of beating yourself up on this, let's just plan on publishing them to the website. And
Yeah.
the makers can go through and look at that. It might be interesting just to go ahead and step through them and
Oh, wait,
let the
wait. Maybe. Ah, there we go.
got it.
Bingo.
Save
was-
us.
All right. Good use of light. strong composition, distracting bright areas. I can easily see that the maker has used the exposure triangle to expose the heron nicely, yet keeping just enough detail in the environment to give context to the area these birds inhabit. The, the image is nicely composed, and the maker has ensured the heron has detail and is sharp. The only minor are the maker may wish to consider making a slight adjustment is the green area in the water to the right of the bird might be toned down a bit by burning in post-processing, which is usually allowed in nature shots. Catch me if you can. I'll let you read that because the maker is done it. Use of the exposure triangle was well employed in this image. All right. The aurora, gorgeous image. Lovely silhouette of a shorebird. Icelandic winter. Use of tones in this image portrays the feeling of it being cold and blustery.
No doubt.
Not in the Bahamas. Daniel on the drums. South Austin Moonlighters. F-35 Lightning. I feel the need for speed.
F4 can outrun him.
F4 can outrun them.
Yeah,
Can't
F4.
outturn them though.
no. Bricks don't turn.
Guess maybe the pilot's missing. I don't know.
Interesting critique.
Yeah. In a heartbeat. Interesting abstract image. Okay. Starburst through sculpture. Maker picked the perfect time. Okay. Let's see what the judge has to say. We saw what the judge had to say. Let's see how the scores. So, in this, we actually had a tie for first and a tie for second, so there is no third. So, we will go with second place, Nick Grossman, Cato Lake Fisherman. Would you like to give a comment?
Yeah, I mean, there was not much light when we were taking these. The whole thing was quite a challenge. The lake was very low. The light was quite poor, certainly on this morning. And tucked away in the background was this heron just being hit by a shaft of light, which I managed to catch. There wasn't much colour around. There's some moth or caterpillar had eaten most of the leaves. So we just had these hanging, whatever they are, things coming down there. And I just like the balance of colour in it. So there you go. That was a pretty fast exposure at an exceptionally high ISO.
Lens. What lens did you use, Nick? Nick, what lens did you use?
That was probably a Sony 200-600 f5.6 G Master.
It's a beautiful shot. I shoot close to me. There are great blue herons, and that's just exceptional. That's gorgeous.
Thank you, Bill.
And the other tie goes to, for second place, Bill, with his Aurora shot from,
Iceland,
oh, not the Bahamas.
not the Bahamas.
What time of year was that, Bill?
This was in March, last March.
Okay,
And
cool.
this is just one frame out of a time lapse. I've probably got 50 plus frames of this one display.
Wow.
Does the eye see these all at once like we're seeing it here? Or does it like begin and flow from one end to the other? Or how do you perceive it if you're actually seeing it live?
If you took this, I think it's 5 seconds, you see this move just a little bit like this. But over the course of an hour or so, it just plays and fluctuates. And I should probably go ahead and turn this into a time lapse and post it on Facebook so everybody can see it.
Actually, when you first see them, you just think they're clouds. It just looks gray until your eyes get used to seeing it.
This stuff in March was just this bright. I've got iPhone video of it that is almost this good. It was bright.
I know last weekend they actually saw it up in Estes Park, came that far south.
Wow.
Okay. First place, me, Rio Grande Milky Way. Bill, you were standing right next to me and lit up the scene.
I remember this one.
And just after that was when I got attacked by that cactus and Josh had to pull all the stuff out of me.
Those cactus are aggressive.
Yeah, I know. They just pop up out of nowhere.
And in the dark, they're sneaky.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help when you lay your backpack on your camera bag on it and then put it on your back and Lewis Ablafia, Icelandic Winter. Well done. All right. That's all she wrote for me. So next theme.
Was there a People's Choice on the?
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess we should do that, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Stop jumping ahead.
Yeah. People's Choice. All right. People's Choice Bronze, Louis Abulafia. People's Choice Silver, Alan Irby, Into the Sun. And the gold goes to Bill.
Wow.
There you go. So. All right, so next competition is going to be open. So make sure you take a picture of something open.
That's bad.
Open can, open bottle, open
Your
container.
smart pill bottle is open.
Yeah.
What a great
Unshare your
Uh,
screen, Steven.
fun.
And if any of y'all want to volunteer to be our next round of judges, shoot me an email, let me know now. Or else I'll be sending out emails and emails and emails to get 3 judges. And
Don't forget the
remember,
$100, the
yep,
$100 drawing.
exactly. And for every time you judge, your name gets put in the hat. So if you judge 11 times, it'll go in there 11 times.
I'm not that
So-
eager.
No, I guess you probably don't want to see my alien screen anymore. So I'll stop sharing.
We might want to talk about the May competition. Just so people have
what is May?
angles, arcs, and circles.
Angles, arcs, and circles.
Geometric shapes.
Okay.
And the objective is to find these in the city, in your toolbox, in the kitchen drawer. Make a compelling image that contains one or more of those features. It's
All right.
one of these that make the compelling image and then check off that you've got one of these.
And I want to make an announcement about the June 16th, we'll have an art show at the
Clay
So-
just lost power.
Who lost power?
You did, you froze. You said, I think you were about to say Pecan Street.
Yeah, oh, well, can you see me now?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
stop talking.
Okay, yeah, Pecan Street, we have a show June 16th. We'll be hanging the show. Leadership will need to talk about whether or how the images will be selected, but the space is limited, so there's a maximum of 24 images. They have 12 wires, and you can put 2 framed images on a wire. So stand by, but start thinking about printing some new work and how you might frame it so that you can enter. The images will probably be uploaded. I think Ed set up a special page where you could upload the 2 images, and then we'll have a judging group, a jury, pick the final 24. That's kind of the way we did it. Robert Rios has not been here very much, but I know he's interested, and he'll probably help coordinate the show with me or other leadership.
On a
Okay.
slightly related note, how do I get that shirt? How do I get a NAPfS shirt?
Oh, this shirt here? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that. This is our club t-shirt, and you can go to the website under the first menu item and you look for store. I think it's the very last item in the drop-down menu. Ed, Pete, also, we had a store set up, and I think he created a new store because I'm not sure of all things, but anyway, it could be, I could put together a little email announcement and send that out to people. But yeah, with this means that you get a logo t-shirt and you can wear it proudly. We also have, it's a spring.com, and we had coffee cups and other items that you could put the logo on. Ed was trying to design some new ones, and he would like if any of you are interested or have graphic abilities that you'd like to develop, he'd be glad to work with you on a new set of graphic designs. One thing about this one is it only had the gray, and he was able to do some colored t-shirts, so the logo is printed on some.
I'm not
colored
sure I trust
t-shirt.
Ed with colors. I have long history with Ed in colors.
Oh, you do? Okay. But yeah, that would be and I have some, I need to talk with the leadership about this, but we have some t-shirts that we could use for door prizes, and I'd like
Yeah.
to give
Yes,
those lucky draw, show up at a meeting in person, get your lucky number drawn, and you might win a t-shirt.
Cool, thank you.
Clay,
Yeah.
you're the closest we have to a website expert online here. Do you remember where we go to find the images, all of the images from previous competitions with their comments on the website?
Well, yes, I think he's got, in fact, let's see. I'm switching over to look at the website, and I think it's under competition. Let's see, rules.
Well, he does that. Patrick, you want to tell us about our speaker for later in the month?
Yeah, our speaker in 2 weeks is Sonia Sommerfeld. She is the photo editor for the Texas Park and Wildlife Department magazine. And so she's going to be talking about what, in her case, what a photo editor looks for in a photo to be published. So it should be fairly interesting. She's going to be live, as far as I know, in case we get another wonderful storm like this. But yeah, she's looking forward to coming, and we're looking forward to having her speak, and bring all your questions about, how do I get my photos published somehow, somewhere, anywhere, So
She probably won't take my photo from Iceland.
probably not. I think in her case, your photo has got to be a Texas wildlife park, but it's got to be Texas related, That would be in her case, but
Patrick, it doesn't have to be a state park, though. It can be pretty much any park in Texas, a natural area.
Yeah, I understand that the magazine, like every other year, used to have pros and semi-pros go out to actual, not even the parks, but to private land, and do landscape and nature wildlife work. But I've yet to see any call for that in the magazine.
Jeff Parker was part of that, and you pair up with a landowner, and if you win, you split the proceeds. I think it's a pretty good prize.
Yeah, I'll have to, but I found out yesterday from a friend of mine works there. She actually works in the hunting license management department, we'll call it. But she said that all of the wildlife management areas, the nature areas or natural areas, are available for people to walk in, and you got to let the park staff know that you're coming, and or set something up ahead of time with them in some cases. But there was an article in their magazine, and it was the Muleshoe natural natural area up in Muleshoe, Texas, on the way to New Mexico out of Lubbock. And it wasn't that exciting picture wise, because that's not what the photographer or the article was about. It was about just going out and finding these places. And so, but it had the wide open space that some people look for in their landscapes. It had water, grass, animals, so all kinds of things. So you can use any park. Take a look at their website and pick some place that you'd like to try to go to and see how it works out for you.
That one's a National Wildlife Refuge. Roosevelt set it up. It's the largest prairie wildlife refuge in the country.
Mule
Pretty
shit?
interesting. It's interesting how different it is from anywhere else.
Yeah. But yeah, so hopefully everybody will be there. Please, we get these people to come in this case, she will actually be in person. We're not she's not phoning in from Albuquerque. But she'll be there in person. We like to have a really good turnout so that when her colleague, who is the chief photographer, shows up in, let's see, where is that, August, the head photographer for the same magazine will be speaking in the August meeting. So that his is going to be also preparing photographs for magazine publication. So
No,
yeah,
sounds good. And
Yeah.
get out, and apparently the wildflowers are out. So everybody get out and look for angles and arcs and wildflowers.
and
May not find those in the same places. Nature has very few arcs or angles.
I bet I can find one.
arc I could think of, but maybe not an angle,
There's always an
Well,
angle.
the arc is part
Well,
of the
there's-
circle, Patrick, and the circle has a very clear definition. Sorry to be an engineer.
No. I'm listening to. There's always an angle, It's like, no,
Ooh.
sure there is. You could kind of look at it that way, or you could look at it that way. So-
Every bird has a circular eye. I could do a macro of an eye and kill 2 birds.
You'd have to kill one.
Ouch! You guys are getting brutal. Okay, the dad jokes are getting really bad now. So,
Dave always has an angle.
If you want to attend the pun off May 13th, you can try a few of these word lists if you like. The annual O. Henry Museum pun off is May 13th. This will be the 46th year, and I'm a volunteer with it. Gary, did you want to update us on the balloon fiesta and any new information?
Sure. Probably not much to say. I didn't get a lot of feedback from anyone else. I've got a few takers, so I'm looking for setting up arrangements for a handful of us for this year. A couple of people have indicated that they might be interested in next year, so we'll get that started early next time, probably in this fall for the following year. But yeah, I would encourage everyone, if you get a chance, to go at some point. But yeah, it's all good.
My decision kind of rests on whether I can carpool and go with someone and not do the driving myself. Is that possible?
It's possible. If you
someone driving?
interested, I need to know now. I'm about to rent. I'm about to get a rental, and my choices are fairly limited. So can contact me offline if you have any interest.
Yes, I will do that. I'm
Okay.
seriously considering. Okay, shall I stop the recording now? This has been the March critiques meetings of the National North NAPfS Society on February 2nd, 2023. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you, guys.